Hello everyone, my name is Maciej Perszewski and backend engineer at GitLab, and today I would like to talk about cluster image scanning, the new feature that we've just introduced in 14.1. If your Kubernetes cluster is running lots of images that you're not analyzing in your CI/CD pipelines, then this is the feature for you. This is made to get vulnerabilities from your cluster into GitLab so you can manage them as you're usually doing for any other type of vulnerabilities. I would like to talk to you about cluster image scanning for a few minutes and show you how to configure it, how to configure the cluster to use it, and how to manage vulnerabilities after these are imported into GitLab. Let's get started. To start using this feature, you need to have GitLab runner that can run Docker or Kubernetes executor, Docker itself installed in the same computer as runner, and startup operator that we're going to install during this demo. Let's get started by creating a new cluster in Google Cloud Platform. In Google Cloud Platform, click Create, choose the standard cluster, and then choose a name for your cluster. I've chosen Starboard Demo, and I just hit Create with the default values. Then we just need to wait for a second until the cluster is created. Once it's created, I'm going to connect to the cluster. I just copy the command line access, I paste it into my terminal, and I'm connected to the cluster. Let's create new deployment. Starboard operator will work not only for deployments that were scheduled after the starboard operator is installed, but also for those that were already installed in the cluster. So I'm going to choose Nginx 1.18. I'll get the deployment ready, and then I'll get back to installing the starboard operator. Okay, Nginx is installed. And I can get back to the documentation, and I just need to click on Starboard link in the documentation to know how to install the Starboard operator into your cluster. So here's the instructions. If you need to know more about Starboard operator, I recommend you to check this site. You'll be able to take a look at the configuration, but also at different types of installing the Starboard operator. Okay, so let's get started by copying and pasting manifests into my kubectl. So one by one, I'm going to apply them. Then I'll not choose to configure additionally config maps. I'll just use the default values, and I'll go directly to deployment page. Okay, the deployment is ready for Starboard operator. So now I can see if I can get vulnerability reports. Yeah, there is already one. So I can take a look and read the vulnerability report itself in kubectl by just changing the output type to YAML file. Let's see what we can find here. All right, I have some vulnerabilities. Now I want to get them into GitLab so I can view them and manage them using GitLab. In the documentation, you can find the configuring the cluster section, and then I'll just apply step by step what's written here. So first I need to create a new service account. The service account will allow me to get vulnerability reports and read them from the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, it's installed. Let's see what's actually in that file. What we need to have is only getting, watching, and listing vulnerability reports. Nothing more is needed. We don't need to get more information about the cluster, only those things, and you can specify which namespace you would like to apply as well, but only those things are important for us to get vulnerabilities into GitLab. So let's get back and step by step get the API URL, token, and certificate. Okay, I have the API URL set in the variable, then say certificate. I need to get secret, get the name of the secret, and then get the certificate itself. Once that's ready, I can get back and get the token. And I can generate the whole CIS kubeconfig variable content. So let's do it. I just need to copy it and get to GitLab and start creating new projects so I can get some vulnerabilities. I'm creating a project, CIS demo, public, I'm going to create the project, and then I'll go directly to settings, CI/CD, I'll choose the variables, expand it, and I'll add new variable that I've just obtained with the command line. So CIS kubeconfig is a variable that we are going to use that will be sent to Analyzer. Analyzer will use it to connect to the cluster and get those vulnerabilities into GitLab. And then I can go back to documentation and take a look what I need to configure and how to configure CI/CD pipelines and GitLab CI YAML file to include those this type of analyzer in my pipeline. So let's just copy it and go to CI/CD editor. I'm going to create a new CI/CD pipeline. I'm going to paste it, what I've just copied from the documentation. It's valid, so I can click commit changes, and then it will immediately create a new pipeline with the job that will run cluster image scanning analyzer. All right, the job is done. I can see that I can get the vulnerability report from Starboard. So now I can go to pipeline and take a look at the security tab if I have vulnerabilities. Yeah, those were found. So I can click on one and then see what's wrong and which image and what I need to do to improve that. Okay, that's great. Now let's go to security compliance configuration section, and I can see that cluster image scanning is enabled for my project. Now I can create new deployment with different type of image. I'm going to just deploy Couchbase with quite old version of Couchbase. And then we'll see if we can get the report as well into GitLab. Let's go to pipelines and let's create new pipeline. Let's just run it to see if we can get new vulnerabilities from Couchbase into GitLab. Running it, going to jobs to see if it's successfully finished. It was. Okay, so now I can get back to pipeline itself and see the security tab. So let's go to pipeline, security tab, and let's look for vulnerabilities found for the new deployment that we've just created for Couchbase. These are here on this page, and you can see we can get some vulnerabilities as well from different deployments that were deployed after the support is deployed. So whenever you hit the pipeline run, it will get the newest vulnerabilities found in your cluster. Okay, and these already can be found in vulnerability report itself. Okay, let's get back to documentation and see what else we can do with our new feature. So we can customize the cluster image scanning settings by applying different CI/CD variables. For example, you can specify that you'd like to get only vulnerabilities for a given container name or for a given resource name. You can also go to Starboard operator page and read more about getting started and configuration itself. So it can be configured just for your needs. So you can specify which namespace you'd like to scan, or if you'd like to scan multiple namespace or all. It's all in documentation, so you just need to go there and configure a config map to support that. In this demo, I will just continue and use CIS container name variable so I can choose it, and I can run new pipeline and specify that I would like to only get vulnerabilities for Couchbase. So let's try it. Running the pipeline, waiting for the job to be finished. Okay, it's finished. I can get back to my pipeline view, get back to security tab, and see if it's indeed only filtering the results that I wanted to get, so only for Couchbase. I encourage you to check the documentation part, see what you can do with the cluster image scanning, test it, and see how it works for your application. Thank you.